I want you to break down Mitch Daniels. Mike Adams is riding shotgun with us. This is the governor of Indiana. Let's just look into a window of Bilderberg into just Mitch Daniels, who they want. They don't want Rand Paul. We've got that from sources. That they don't like his father. They don't trust Rand Paul, obviously, because he's not a globalist, but he's a little more political. They do not like Rand Paul. They like Mitch Daniels. Rubio went to the CFR and promised world government as well at the same time. But go over the data sheet you wrote up last night from all public sources. And Aaron's going to do an article later today on this. We'll go over this monster.
Well, in short, Mitch Daniels ties into the George H.W. Bush power structure, but even more than that,
he's a Quayle frontman.
Dan Quayle. The Quayle family basically owns Indiana. Each state has its own little mini cartels, and Mitch Daniels worked with Eli Lilly. He was head of the corporation that the Quayle family owns a controlling interest. You wonder why they sold us on all these gaffes about how stupid Dan Quayle was, how he couldn't spell potato, or how he thought a $4 job at Burger King was a sign of economic progress. That's all to keep you from looking at the admitted ties he has.
Yeah, just like how the Queen's cute. That's a standard psych warfare operation. These are genius level, vicious killer psychopaths. Okay, I mean, again, they got the aspartame approved, they got the Prozac approved, and then he was the front man to cover up all the mass deaths and suicides. Keep breaking him down.
And of course, Eli Lilly is the top producer of thimerosal that they put in vaccines, and under the George W. Bush administration, they tried to sneak in total dismissal of all thimerosal-based vaccine lawsuits under the Homeland Security Bill in 2002. But that's to protect us from 9/11, Alex. But Mitch Daniels is a lifelong lobbyist through the Reagan administration, through the Bush administration, for Eli Lilly. He headed the company in the late 80s, early 90s. Before that, he was president and CEO of the Hudson Institute.
You're on camera.
Who is the Hudson Institute? Well, they're basically the Rand Corporation. It was founded just like the Rand Corporation by Herman Kahn and his buddies. They call it a conservative think tank. I don't see what the scientific, military-industrial think tank business has anything to do with the idea of conservatism.
This is a scientific takeover of the economy, and that's why they get even more globalism under Republicans. Anybody that thinks Mitt Romney's going to save them has a hole in their head. And again, I'm not even attacking Mitt Romney himself or Obama. They are non-consequential. There will be no difference but in rhetoric, folks. This is a scientific blueprint takeover in their own words. Tell them about how he was the head of the highest subgroup that directs Rand.
Yeah, that is the Hudson Institute. Today, it's headed by Henry Kravis's wife, Marie-José Kravis. They meet annually at Bilderberg, but it used to be Mitch Daniels. They're absolutely part of the top power structure. They're a lot more secretive than these other groups, and they really steer the way this whole system is going. And you can see how it interlocks with Eli Lilly. Immediately after leaving the CIA, George Herbert Walker Bush went to the Eli Lilly Corporation on the board of directors, put there by the Quayle family.
And there's toll roads, run through it all. I mean, it's just insane. Yeah. And it's every one of these guys. Once you start looking at them, they're connected to all the other groups. And what's the number one thing? It's pushing poison on the public, fluoride in the water, GMO, McDonald's. It's all been a plan.
I'm suspicious of Scientology as well, but that whole demonization of Scientology came about from Quayle and Bush and Mitch Daniels in the early 90s when they almost stopped Prozac, killed its market share, and were about to have it removed. Instead, they released hit piece after hit piece in all the major papers to make them look crazy. Maybe they are. That's up to you to decide. Well, but they didn't like them attacking Eli Lilly's Prozac. Mitch Daniels, in particular.
At bare minimum, the Scientologists are a competitor group with the globalists. They want to. That's the argument that they want to be them.
Well, I'm not even getting into Scientology, but they were hurting the Prozac shares.
They know what's going on.
And Mitch Daniels was a specialist at defending the role of Prozac in the public's mind, and it drove market shares right back up, spiked up there as they continued to put thimerosal in the vaccines. It tried to get themselves immunity on it. Mitch Daniels is an angel of death, just like many of the others.
It's a good headline.
But he was part of the Indiana toll roads again. And Macri with their thumbprints all over it.
And they take over. Now they're going to get Mopac, a paid-for road, alter the lane that you get, and turn it into a toll road, even though that's illegal. Bush signed an executive order saying they could. He has an executive order overthrow law, and it's just total criminal takeover.
They get these conglomerates.
And they do these fake choices. It could all be toll road or only part. What do you want? And again, while they block all the other roads being built and steal all the money They have a surplus in Texas. It's total criminality.
No, they're the masters of the false left-right paradigm. It's not just Obama and Romney. It's Coke and Pepsi meet at Bilderberg. It's one writer at Bilderberg says, let's use diplomacy in Syria. The other writer says, let's bomb them right now today.
And let's starve them, Fareed Zakaria.
Exactly.
I mean, these people are unbelievable. They're masters of controlling a fake paradigm, a false reality. It's like going to Disney World. It's its own city. It's its own town. It's fake. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And again, look up Disney World Pentagon Laboratory. You'll find out the whole thing's a Pentagon laboratory. For Fallujah, and you're like, Fallujah, how to lock a city down, how to have biometrics, and you're paying to be part of a laboratory. I mean, these people are unbelievable.
The more you read into this, the more you see that the CIA just bleeds over into the Rand Corporation, bleeds over into Bilderberg. These people
admit Google's NSA created, as I told you, decades. I mean, this all here.
Yeah, and they have huge conglomerates to suck out the profits while they make the public pay for infrastructure. Mitch Daniels, again, not only did the toll road, he put a new tax.
Yeah, so there's really not just the government. There's this corporate private state where they're now transferring its power over to it completely, calling it privatization. That's why they're flirting with libertarians, because it's a fake libertarian system.
Oh, but privatization, Mitch Daniels put a new tax on the people of Indiana so they could build sports stadiums, the Lucas Oil Stadium, the Indiana Convention Center.
Which, again, is a psych warfare center.
Tax
they can also use to put them in the camp, yeah.
It was a tax on liquor, though, so it sounds like he's doing something good. But the point is, he's a continuation of Quayle and Bush. I didn't even get into how they rigged the FDA so they could approve biotech, sell vaccines unapproved by the FDA overseas.
Nanotech is already in most people's brains. It's in hundreds of foods. They're engineered into it. We've all been hit with cancer viruses. We'll be back with Mike Adams straight ahead. Final segment.